Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Connecting with Kim. We're so glad you joined us today here on Tampa Bay Arts and Education Network. You can also catch the audio of our show on Sun Radio 96.3 FM in Sun City Center and on your favorite streaming platform. I'm your host, Kim Droege, and I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, the Spring of Tampa Bay, for providing my on-air wardrobe every week. They do a great job, and they are located at the corner of Swann and Henderson. So if you have not been there yet, please go and visit them, because all the net proceeds from the thrift store on Willow and the store at Swann and Henderson go to support their mission of providing sanctuary and services to survivors of domestic violence and their children. And they've been doing a great job for a long time, and I really want you to support them. So I'm so excited today because I have a returning guest, but she hasn't been here for a while, and we're so grateful to have her in the chair today. My guest today is Nancy Millan, who is the tax collector for Hillsborough County. Welcome back, Nancy, to Connecting with Kim.
Thank you, Kim. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thanks.
We're thrilled. I went back in my records, as I told you, because I wanted to know when was the last time we sat down on Connecting with Kim. It was when it was a radio show, and it was back in 2019 when I first started out. You and Doug Belden were some of my first guests, and we had a great time. I remember that. So I'm so glad to have you back now.
Thank you.
So I give everyone at the top of the show an opportunity to share their life's journey, which brings us to the point that we're going to talk about today, because you never know when somebody out there is listening or watching and they're going to say, oh, I went to that school, or I had that experience, or I did that job. And it's a nice thing for them to feel the connection with you. So take it away.
All right. Well, my journey is interesting, although we've known each other for many years. And when I was on your show, I was serving in a different capacity. So being the tax collector, this is my first term. I'm very excited to be here, but I tell you, never in a million years did I think that I would ever be in this position. But now that I am here, I'm so grateful and thrilled. I love my job, and I love the impact that we're making in our community. And even though I'm new to the position, I'm certainly not new to the office.
No.
I've been in the tax collector's office for 33 years.
You don't look old enough to have been there for 33 years, Nancy, honestly. And I've known you for a long time.
I know. I started out as an accounting clerk. Back in the day, and I've actually worked my ways through the ranks, and just love being there, and it's being a family. And when the opportunity arose, I just felt, I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about our office and what we've accomplished, and I wanted to continue on with that legacy. And I just went all in and said, this is my opportunity to really make an impact. And going through that whole process, I wasn't prepared, but I've grown so much in that world of campaigning, but feel really blessed to be able to be here talking to you and talking about all the wonderful and amazing things that we're doing in our office.
Well, I remember going to your launch party at the Columbia for your campaign, and that was a great event. My mother came with me, so that was really a fun time. And I think a lot of people were surprised when they saw the pictures to see us there. But, the best person for the job is the best person for the job, right?
Yes, and I think that's so important to talk about, is because relationships that we've built throughout the years, regardless of party affiliations, it's about those relationships and doing what's right for our community and doing the job that we've all come to know and expect, especially in the tax collector's office. So I'm really proud to be here and be able to serve our community and just do a lot more than we've ever done, especially giving back in our community, because that's something that's really important to me personally.
I know it is. And before we kick off talking about all the accomplishments that you have brought to the office since you were elected in 2020, let's spend a few minutes, because we have so many new residents moving into Hillsborough County, into the Tampa area. Let's spend a few minutes talking about giving them a little bit about your personal background. Like, I know it, but they don't. So
I was born right here in Ybor City. My parents are Cuban immigrants, and so we worked really hard, and my parents gave their all to raise me and my sisters here. Got married at a young age, went to Germany. I lived there for a while, came back, went to school while I worked. I became a single mom too, and continued to push through to be where I'm at today. So it wasn't easy, But I'm so grateful. Again, I think building those relationships throughout the years is something that I value. Everything that my parents taught me and how to be a good person and treat everyone with dignity and respect, and I think that it's paid off. I have lots of friends here in this community and family, and I'm so grateful to be here in this position, because I think it shows everyone out there that anyone, when you set your mind to doing something, that really, if you're doing it for the right reasons, that it can happen to anyone. And I really feel blessed that people put their, believed in me and gave me that opportunity. And that's why having this job and being here is so important, to do the best that I can. Not only, to prove that this is, that anyone can do it. And being the first woman and first Latina in this position is quite an accomplishment, and making history right here in Hillsborough County. Yeah. And to me, it's being in this position and representing our community, which is now 30% of Hillsborough County is Hispanic. I think it's important to continue on, and like I said, giving back. And my way of giving back is serving as a mentor and an influencer for others, and for other young women like me who want to aspire to be leaders. That we all have that opportunity, and we just have to set our minds to it and work hard.
Well, let's talk about, so those are all bravo moments, and
yes.
We should applaud that, and so I do. So let's talk about what you have brought to the office since you were elected in 2020. Let's talk about some of the initiatives. Let's talk about some of the programs, because again, we have so many brand new people in Hillsborough County
yes.
that may not know this, and I want them to know it.
Yes, and like I said, we are living up to a legacy that was built there prior to me becoming tax collector, but I think we've elevated it a little bit more. And when I ran, we talked about accessibility and having services available for all, especially in underserved areas, bringing innovation while securing our data, so that we hold a lot of data and information from our constituents. So those are all things that are up in the forefront of everything we do. So since we started, I believe in taking care of our workforce. Obviously, when you take care of your folks inside and make sure that everyone is there, and with the Great Resignation and so forth, we really had to put our focus on having the right people, and so that we can obviously serve our constituents. So we've done quite a number of things with salary studies and make sure that they're getting paid and fairly, especially for the jobs that they do. And so we've put a lot of emphasis on that, and investing in our people with education and career paths. We want to certainly develop the future leaders of the tax collector's office, so we've put a lot of emphasis on that.
Well, and also you came into office in 2020, where right away, smack off the bat, pretty much 3 months into the office,
pandemic,
we got the pandemic going
yes.
on, right?
Yes, and
which
I will
changed
say,
everything.
Absolutely, and I will tell you that with the pandemic and all of the negative things that happened with that, there was a lot of positives, because it really gave us an opportunity to revisit how we conduct ourselves and the way we do business, and an opportunity to really get innovative and creative with the way we provide our services. And so I'm really passionate about that. We've done a number of things to make it easier for our constituents to do business with us. We are offering now easier ways to pay online. We're also implementing new ways to, let's say, clear a driver's license sometimes you get a stop on your driver's license because you change insurance and it doesn't go through. Well, now we're offering that opportunity to clear that insurance online without having to go through, jump through hoops to get that cleared and coming into our office. So we're constantly looking at ways of how we can do things better and offer convenience. We, on our table right now for a strategic plan, we have a project called Virtual Remote Agents, similar to a bank, where we offer an agent who is working remotely from one office and able to serve customers at one of the busier offices and help so that we can clear those lines and get people in and out. So the more we dive into working being creative and providing services, we are trying to do all we can while bringing innovation and creativity to the way we serve our customers, and so that they can do it from the convenience of their homes, which is awesome.
Well, you know, and you have two camps of people in life,
Yes.
right? Increasingly, I see this developing. You have the camp of people that want to do everything online and would be perfectly happy if they never had to come into, for instance, the driver's license, right? That, you know, and then you got the other camp of people who, you know, they feel they want to do one-on-one. They want to do in-person. They want to have that touchy-feely experience,
Yes, they
right?
do.
So you kind of have these two camps, and then you got these small people in between that, well, I can go either way.
Yes, yeah. So we've done a lot. So we have the remote. We've also remote agents. We also invested with ARP funds. So we are actually, you know, being really good stewards of taxpayer dollars and able to use some of those funds to purchase a new queuing system and scheduling system. So again, trying to make it easier and convenient for our constituents to come in when they make an appointment, when they get there, they're able to actually get their mobile or their ticket actually on their phones. Called up, we send notifications. So again, trying to make that whole experience coming into our office a little bit easier and faster. That's one of the things that we're always working on. You know, breaking that perception of the typical DMV is something that I really want to work hard on, and focusing on having excellent customer service experiences. My main focus is trying to get things in place so that when folks come in, it's easy to come in, get your stuff done, and then without any issues. So it's a challenge. I think that every tax collector in the state of Florida is dealing with this in some way or other, especially in the bigger municipalities like ours that continues to grow. And we have so many people. When you talk about 1.5 million people coming into our county, we actually serve 1 million customers in a year in our offices. So there's quite the demand. So finding ways to do more with less is really a challenge for us. But I think that's where innovation comes in, and trying to really get in the forefront of doing some of the things that we'd like to do to just add convenience to serve everyone.
Well, and we should probably take a moment here and back up. For those of you who are new to Hillsborough County, Nancy is the tax collector who, once Bob Henriquez, the property appraiser, issues his tax bills, she's responsible for collecting all the money.
That's correct.
But the tax collector also runs the DMVs for someone else. So they're kind of like and people may not know that. So.
Right. So yes, we are responsible for collecting and distributing all the property taxes, which everyone should be. It's actually coming up very soon.
It is.
So you'll be getting some fan mail from the tax collector's office, and so we work really closely with Bob Enriquez and the property appraiser. Once that certified roll comes to us, then we are responsible for collecting and distributing all of the funds. We are the funding engine of Hillsborough County, because all of those funds go for our roads, our school system, and everything else. So it's a really important part. But we also have the demand where it comes from, that we're served as agents of the state.
Right.
So we are responsible for issuing driver's licenses, ID cards. We also register every vehicle, vessel, and everything else under the sun that the Department of Highway Safety manages. So that's another daunting task, because again, we work for someone else, and there is often a misconception of who does what. We are always at the mercy of the state with systems, and that's one tough area that we have to deal with, because we do not have control of those systems. So when they go down, the ones that have to face the music and face our customers is the tax collector's office. And that puts us in a quandary, because those folks are in our office and want to be served. And when our systems go down, Kim, you've been to our offices, you'll know that we have to tell our customers and work through that. So that's a challenging little caveat to what we do.
I think that's a good point that you just shared, because a lot of people may not realize, and that's why I wanted to bring up the fact that you wear multiple hats.
Yes, we do.
And one of the most important hats you wear is the DMV, which pretty much interfaces with everybody in the county, right?
Absolutely.
If you're just joining me now on Connecting with Kim, my guest in the chair is Nancy Millan, who is the tax collector for Hillsborough County and has been since 2020, but she's been in the tax collector's office for a very long time, and so she knows it inside and out. But I'm glad that we talked about the DMV DMV and the state systems,
Yes.
because you're right, they don't understand that. They just know that they're
Right.
sitting there, they want their business over and done with, but they don't, that you have no control over.
Right, right. And it's getting scarier because they are actually on phase 2 of motorist modernization, so they're revamping their system. So again, it makes all the tax collectors a little nervous, because when they make those changes, you just never know what's going to happen. And so then again, we're the ones that have to, and there's a lot of testing, and I'm not going to say that we have a great working relationship with them, but those are some of the issues that a lot of folks don't understand, that sometimes it really is out of our control. We're there and we're trying to do the best that we can, but when those systems go down, it's the tax collector who has to face the customer and explain the issues. And so we try to do the best we can with what we have, and trying to provide that excellent customer service, because if we can't serve them, we always want to make sure that we bring them back and give them a priority ticket so that we can see them without having to wait.
Well, I think the most important thing all of us can have is just a little bit more patience and understanding,
Absolutely.
which is in short supply these days. I must admit, so people, please, when you go to the DMV, be kind, all right? Because those people are there working very hard to serve you. So let's get back. I have a really, something you said triggered a question in my mind. So you collect all the property taxes from all of the different entities in Hillsborough County. So explain to me what happens after that. How does everybody get their money? I've always wondered about that.
Well, it comes into our office, and we collect, and then our accounting department, we have different systems that will then disperse. It goes into the various buckets, and then every month it gets distributed to those agencies on a regular basis. And I have a great team. I have to say that my finance team is one of the best, and we have 0 audits. Our agencies are happy because they always get their distributions right on time. So I have to give them a little shout out for the amazing work that they do. When you talk about handling $2.3 billion in property taxes that we collect and distribute, when you have a team that has 0 audit findings, you know that you have the right people in the right.
Bravo!
Yes.
I am so, that's to be congratulated.
Yes.
I'm happy for you.
Yes, we actually got an award from the Florida Tax Collectors Association for our team for that particular area, is that for 0 audit findings. So
Oh,
we're
that's
very
great.
proud of that.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
And everybody out there should be happy to hear that too.
Yes.
Because it means you're being good stewards.
Absolutely.
And you know what you're doing. So let's talk about some of the other initiatives that you brought to the table since you took over in 2020, because I know that you love community involvement.
Yes.
And we talked about it before we went on air, but I want to make sure we covered about the working with the school children on the tags.
Yes. Well, one thing I wanted to mention too is that because of the pandemic and the demand that we have, obviously, when we talk about what we do and how we touch everyone in Hillsborough County, I did implement a new software system with an Autobot, which is an artificial intelligence that it lives on our website, that is able to answer questions and give responses and direct folks into the right places that they need for information. So that has helped us immensely. We actually taught it Spanish, so it's multilingual artificial intelligence that helps. We also are working on getting other languages in there, but it also allows people to go through a process of getting questions to get estimates on vehicle registration or titles. This is something brand new. We're the first in the state to do this project. So the Autobot, her name is Sophie, and she will ask you all these different questions to make sure that you're giving all the necessary information so that she can give you a clear estimate of what you're going to owe when you come into our office. And actually, if you like, she'll walk you through the process so that you can actually complete your transaction. So we're real proud of that. Again, using innovation to serve 1.5 million customers is something that we're trying to do to make it easier for everyone.
I love that.
Yes, it's really cool. And she has her own personality. We say that she's our virtual employee. So we're really excited about that, and actually using it to teach it more so that they can help others do more online. And as far as community, that's something that's really near and dear to my heart. That's where previously I was a director of communications and community outreach, and so that's something that is still very important to me. And so we worked to do a number of things. One of them is our Kids Tag Art program. It's a statewide program that started out in Polk County, and I was really happy to introduce it to Hillsborough County last year. And the program is really dedicated to raising funds for our schools and giving back to the schools in our art programs, and really enhancing what we currently have, and offering an opportunity to raise funds to give back directly to those art teachers.
Oh,
and
and
so,
of course at TBAE, arts is in our name, so we love that.
Yeah, so what it is, it's fifth grade classrooms, art classrooms from Title I schools, and last year we had 27 participants from schools, and the kids were able to design their own vanity license plate. And then it goes through a whole selection process, and we have a contest and winners. Again, we also have big sponsors that help us. Last year we had, and this year again, Suncoast Credit Union, who has been one of our major sponsors. We had Dara Brooks Foundation, who is also another sponsor, and this year we're hoping to get more. We've raised $33,000 last year, and actually $1,200 went to each of those participating schools.
Oh, fabulous.
Directly back to that teacher so that they can buy supplies for their kids. So it's really a great program. And again, a way of giving back and getting our folks to be involved in our community. I think that's very important. We actually put that, our expectations for all of our employees is to find ways to give back to our community. We're lucky to be where we're at. We're in a great community, but I think as being our team members, and as we change the culture, we want to make sure that we instill that in everyone in our organization of being able to give back and contribute to our communities.
And we've recently seen, by recent events with Hurricane Ian, we have seen how much community relations and helping each other. I mean, we dodged a bullet, but that means some of our other friends and neighbors did
That's
not.
right.
And we have seen how coming together as a community and helping our fellow Floridians is really important.
Yes.
And I love the kids tag art, because when you go into the DMV, you can see it. There's a display about it. And it's just a wonderful program.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
We also do some outreach. One of the things, again, we have a number of residents coming in from out of country, and that's growing by the day. So it actually impacts our office immensely, because the first thing people want to do is get a driver's license so that they can go and work and just be able to take care of themselves and their family members. So that's something that really impacted us, in the number of people that we're seeing that are coming in from out of country. I walked through the process because from my own personal experience, and had family members that were coming. And so when I walked through the process, I realized that they weren't getting a whole lot of information about our office. Just here's the tax collector's office, and you need to go visit them. And so they're coming to our office unprepared. So I created a whole new resident program where we have a guide that gives them all of the information that they need before they come into our office, and working with those nonprofit agencies that help those people with those transitions. So we're actually doing some train the trainer so that they can give them the information so that they can be well equipped and well prepared before they come into our office, which obviously is going to help us with the number of people that are coming in and actually multiple visits. So we're hoping that that's something that's going to continue to grow, but we are trying to be very proactive and prepare our customers before they come in.
I think that's fantastic, because it makes everybody's job easier, and it gives it results in a much happier resident.
Yes.
So the time goes so fast on Connecting with Kim, so we have a few minutes left. So I always like to give everyone, when they're in the show, an opportunity to look into their camera and promote, discuss, pitch, anything they want to do of something that they want to leave our listeners and our viewers with. So just look into your camera and take it away.
If you have questions or information, I would encourage you to go to our website at www.hillstax.org for all kinds of information that you need. As I mentioned before, we have Sophie, which is our artificial intelligence chatbot, where you can ask questions and get all the information you need and guidance to do any type of transaction. We offer convenient online payments, so we encourage you to take advantage of those options that we have available. And we're here to serve, and know that we are working hard to ensure that you have an excellent customer service experience. I'm always open for feedback. That's something that's really important to me, and we're not perfect, but I will tell you, Kim, that this is something that we work at every day to try to make sure that we are good stewards of taxpayer dollars, as well as providing the best service we can for Hillsborough County residents.
Well, I know that to be the case because you and I chatted before we went on air. Recently had an experience at the DMV with my mom, and it was such a, we made an appointment, we showed up, everything went like it was supposed to, and the woman that we worked with, is the clerk, is that the
It's
right
customer service
customer
representatives.
service? I want to get that correct because she was just fantastic, and she offered so much great advice and feedback to my mom and I, and it was just such a pleasant experience, and my mother and I both left there so happy. So I mean,
That's good to hear.
What more could you ask for, right?
And that's something that we take pride in, and actually putting a lot of emphasis on training and explaining to our team how important it is to treat people with dignity and respect and being empathetic. That's something I actually just started a whole change to culture in our office and visiting every single office and talking to our employees about the importance of how we treat our customers and putting ourselves in that same position, because there are a lot of things going on in our lives, and I know how important it is, and sometimes things creep up on us and we don't realize that, hey, your driver's license expired, or your insurance for some reason dropped off. And so it's important that we treat everyone like they are the most important person in that room at that time. So that's something that I am preaching every day to our people, and making sure that that is the great experience that you had, that I hope that we can serve all our constituents in that manner.
Well, Nancy, I can't thank you enough for being my
you.
guest today on Connecting with Kim. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you so
know
much.
that. Come back and see us. We love it. That's all we have time for today on Connecting with Kim. I want to give a final shout out to my sponsor, the Spring of Tampa Bay, who provides sanctuary and services to survivors of domestic violence. So please go and visit the thrift store on Willow and the boutique on Swann and Henderson, because all the net proceeds go to support their mission. We had a great time today. I want to ask you to come back next week for another edition of Connecting Kim. And remember, our goal here, my goal every day that I sit down in the chair with somebody as wonderful as Nancy, is to bring you information that will make your life better in our little corner of paradise. That's the whole goal. So thanks for joining us. Come back next week.